Welcome to the Sound the Alarm Save a Life in-home visit team training video, Module 5, Documenter. Thank you for your interest in participating in Sound the Alarm, a home fire safety and smoke alarm installation event. These 5 video training modules provide a comprehensive overview on how to conduct a model in-home visit. We strongly recommend you view all video modules to gain a solid understanding of the in-home visit protocol and the support you'll be providing to your in-home visit team members. We also recommend that this video be accompanied by hands-on training on or before the day of the event. Please contact your event leader for more information about hands-on training opportunities available in your area so that you can practice the skills taught in these video modules before you conduct an in-home visit. At the completion of this session, you will gain an understanding of the following: the roles and responsibilities of the documenter, the importance of the service acknowledgement form and how to complete it accurately, the importance of the bedshaker alarm application for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing and how to complete it accurately. Complete all forms fully and accurately and safeguard them until handoff to event leadership. Assist the smoke alarm installer by holding the ladder safely and by passing them tools during smoke alarm installation. Assist the smoke alarm installer as they keep track of all smoke alarms, tools, equipment, and supplies. Step ladder, step stool safety tips. Read and follow all labels, markings on the ladder. Always inspect the ladder prior to using it. If the ladder is damaged, alert your event leadership so that it can be removed from service and tagged until repaired or discarded. Make sure it is free of grease or oil or other slippery substances. Set up the ladder step stool on a flat surface. Be sure that all legs are situated on the same type of surface. For example, ladder legs should either be on carpet or on a hard surface such as tile or linoleum, never on both at the same time. Do not exceed the maximum load rating of a ladder. Step ladders are meant for one person. Do not place a ladder on boxes, barrels, or other unstable bases to obtain additional height. Do not use a self-supporting ladder, example, step ladder, as a single ladder or in a partially closed position. Always open the step ladder spreaders and shelf fully and lock the braces. Do not move or shift a ladder while a person or equipment is on the ladder. Always maintain a 3-point, 2 hands and a foot or 2 feet and a hand contact on the ladder when climbing. Keep your body near the middle of the step and always face the ladder while climbing. It is the documenter's responsibility to hold the ladder step stool while the smoke alarm installer steps up and climbs only as high as necessary to reach the installation point. Follow guidance printed on the ladder step stool or in the instruction booklet. It is the documenter's responsibility to hold the ladder step stool and pass materials up to the smoke alarm installer. Caution: never stand on the highest step of a ladder or pail shelf. Never walk under an open ladder. Do not climb the back of a step ladder. Do not use ladders in passageways, doorways, or other locations where a person can hit it. Set up suitable barriers. Do not overreach. Move a stepladder when needed. Do not shift or walk a stepladder when standing on it. This is the Service Acknowledgement Form. The Service Acknowledgement Form is the form that the documenter will use to record basic information about the in-home visit, including the address of the resident, information about household composition, and the services provided. This form is very important and should be filled out completely and accurately. Why is the Service Acknowledgement Form important? It is the only physical record of service delivery. It is the sole source for digital data entry, which is the basis for reporting. The data captured on the form is used to verify potential lives saved from the campaign. There are 2 versions of the Service Acknowledgement Form, one titled Service Acknowledgement Form and one titled Partner Direct Service Acknowledgement Form. For region-led events, the Service Acknowledgement Form is the appropriate form to use. The Partner Direct Service Acknowledgement Form should only be used when either a national partner or local partner has primary responsibility for coordination and implementation of a Sound the Alarm event. By using the correct version of the form, partners and regions can accurately capture and report programmatic efforts, including effectiveness and outreach. Don't worry. Your event leadership will ensure that you have the appropriate service acknowledgement forms to document your in-home visits. Be sure to complete all required fields on the service acknowledgement form. All fields marked with a red asterisk are required. All other fields are strongly encouraged. If a required field is not applicable, write NA in the field. Make sure the home address is complete. Ensure the address is completed accurately, including apartment, unit, lot number, if applicable. Only enter physical addresses of inhabited residences. No P.O. boxes should be entered. Services should not be delivered to organizations, businesses, houses of worship, or vacant buildings. Therefore, a service acknowledgement form should never be completed for these locations. Complete a service acknowledgement form if any of the services listed below were provided during the in-home visit. Pre-existing smoke alarms tested. Batteries replaced in pre-existing smoke alarms. New smoke alarms installed. Bed shaker alarms installed for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing, DHH. Home fire escape plan created. Home fire safety checklist reviewed. It is not necessary to complete a service acknowledgement form if no services were provided. If you simply knocked on the door and nobody answered, or if a resident declined an in-home visit. The following fields are included on the service acknowledgement form. Home address. This section captures the address where each in-home visit occurs. Address, apartment or mobile home number, city, state, zip. Please note that all of these fields are marked with a red asterisk and are mandatory. Take the time to ensure that the full address is completed accurately, including apartment, unit, lot number if applicable. If no apartment, unit, lot number exists, mark NA, not applicable. Only enter physical addresses of inhabited residences. P.O. boxes and addresses of organizations, businesses, churches, and vacant buildings are not acceptable. If you are working in a community that does not adhere to standard addressing, or if you have questions about how to accurately capture the address, please contact your event leadership or hfcdata@redcross.org for assistance. Initial assessment upon visit. This section helps us better understand the fire risk and demographics in selected communities. Ensure residents understand that all information will be kept confidential. To complete this section, you will ask the resident to provide answers to the following questions. How many people live here? The number of residents who live in the home as reported by resident. The question is marked with a red asterisk and is mandatory. How many youth ages 17 and under live here? The number of children ages 17 and under who live in the home as reported by resident. How many adults ages 65 and older live here? The number of adults ages 65 and older who live in home as reported by resident. How many individuals with a disability or access or functional need live here? The number of individuals with a disability, access, or functional need residing in the home as reported by resident. How many veterans, military members, or military family members live here? The number of veterans, military members, and/or veteran military family members who reside in the home as reported by resident. Military family, immediate family members related by blood, marriage, or adoption to a current member of the U.S. Armed Forces, including one who is deceased. Veteran family, immediate family members related by blood, marriage, or adoption to a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces, including one who is deceased. How many pre-existing smoke alarms does the household already have? The smoke alarm installer will assess all pre-existing smoke alarms in a home and provide the number of pre-existing smoke alarms to the documenter. How many pre-existing smoke alarms are working? The smoke alarm installer will test all pre-existing smoke alarms and make a determination if the smoke alarms are working or not, and will provide this information to the documenter. Services provided. This section documents which services were provided to residents. This information allows the Red Cross and its partners to track where alarms, batteries, and home fire escape plans have been put in place to help protect residents. This section also documents fire safety education and information on a local hazard that the resident has received during the in-home visit. Please note that all of these fields are marked with a red asterisk and are therefore required, except for identifying which additional hazard was discussed. Let's go through them in detail so that you understand the information that you are required to capture. Number of new smoke alarms installed and tested. Number of new smoke alarms that the smoke alarm installer has installed in the home and tested to ensure that they are in working order. The smoke alarm installer will provide this information to the documenter during the in-home visit. Number of new bed shaker alarms installed and tested, DHH. Number of new bed shaker alarms that the smoke alarm installer has installed for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. The smoke alarm installer will provide this information to the documenter during the in-home visit. Did the residents create a fire escape plan? Yes, no. If the educator worked with the resident to develop a home fire escape plan, then you would circle yes. If the educator did not work with the resident to develop a home fire escape plan, then you would circle no. The educator will provide this information to the documenter during the in-home visit. Did the residents review the home fire safety checklist? Yes, no. If the educator reviewed the home fire safety checklist with the resident, then you would circle yes. If the educator did not review the home fire safety checklist with the resident, then you would circle no. The educator will provide this information to the documenter during the in-home visit. Did the residents learn about a local hazard? Yes, no. If the educator reviewed an additional hazard safety checklist with the resident, then you would circle yes. If the educator did not review an additional hazard safety checklist with the resident, then you would circle no. The educator will provide this information to the documenter during the in-home visit. If yes, what hazard? If the educator reviewed an additional hazard safety checklist with the resident, you would record which hazard was covered. If the educator did not review an additional hazard safety checklist with the resident, then you would leave this field blank. The educator will provide this information to the documenter during the in-home visit. Partner reporting. This section helps us better understand how our partners are supporting the program. All partner reporting fields are marked with a red asterisk and are therefore required to complete, regardless of the type of service acknowledgement form that is used. National Partner. List any national partners participating in the event. This information will be provided to you by event leadership prior to departure from the rally point. Local Partners. List any local partners participating in the event. It is especially important to capture the participation of services to the Armed Forces, SAF volunteers, or employees, military-connected partners, and Red Cross Corps RCC members in the local partners field. The data related to SAF, military-connected partners, and RCC is needed to facilitate tracking against specific targets and goals set by grant requirements and management directives. Event leadership will provide you with this information prior to departure from the rally point. If additional space is needed to record all partners, please use the Additional Notes section. Please note that your event leadership will have specific information on how to complete the partner reporting fields. Please consult your event leader for further details about local and national partners participating directly in your event. Region-designated reporting fields. These optional fields are provided so that partners and Red Cross regions may collect customized data in 2 additional locations. Your event leadership will inform you if these fields are in use in your area and, if so, how to complete them. Information for future follow-up. This section provides the Red Cross with basic contact information in order to follow up with residents as needed. All contact information is kept confidential. Let's review the information requested in this section. Did the resident provide contact info? Yes, no. Kindly request that resident provide contact information. Circle yes if the resident agreed to provide contact information. Circle no if the resident did not agree to provide contact information. Cell phone number. Record the resident's cell phone number if provided. Email address. Record the resident's email address if provided. Other phone number. Record the resident's other phone number if provided. Attestation, signatures. Review the services provided and items documented on the form with the resident to ensure accuracy. Slowly review the attestation legal language to ensure that the resident understands his or her responsibilities. The attestation reads, I am a resident of the home at the address above. Today, I received the services indicated on this form. I also received instructions about how to use and maintain smoke alarms. It is my responsibility to maintain the smoke alarms per the manufacturer's recommendations and to test the alarms monthly. It is also my responsibility to make sure I have the appropriate type of smoke alarms in my home. Different types of alarms, ionization and photoelectric, detect fires differently, and experts recommend having both types. It is additionally my responsibility to make sure that I have the appropriate number of smoke alarms and that the alarms are in appropriate locations. Furthermore, The American Red Cross and its partners are not responsible for determining the appropriate type, number, or location of smoke alarms. Your signature indicates that you have read the information above and that you agree with its content. Once complete, ask if resident has any questions. Remind resident that all information is kept confidential. Invite the resident to review the service acknowledgement form in its entirety one more time. After the resident has reviewed the information documented on the form, invite the resident to sign and date the resident signature section. The signatory must be a resident of the home and must be at least 18 years old. After the resident signs the form, the documenter signs and dates the Red Cross partner signature section. Once the form is fully reviewed and signed by both parties, thank the resident. Administrative section. This section should be left blank by the documenter. This section allows the person entering data from the form into the online reporting portal to record his or her name and the date that the data was entered in order to prevent duplicate record entry and to ensure that each in-home visit is carefully documented in the online reporting portal. Thank the resident for their time and carefully store the form. Note: if resident refuses to sign the form after services are delivered, indicate this on the form and alert your event point of contact upon handoff.
It is a best practice to give the resident the opportunity to perform the test of the alarms with you once all of the installations have been completed. This will familiarize them with the alarm's test and hush features and build confidence that they'll be able to test them once a month and utilize the hush feature. Safety, quality, and effectiveness are the important values that can help save lives with each in-home visit. That's it, we're done with testing the smoke alarms.
Okay, so we have determined that the family have one working smoke alarm, and I have recorded that already in the initial assessment. We have installed 3 new smoke alarms, no bed shaker alarms, and we did not replace any batteries. Is that correct, John?
That's correct.
Fantastic. Okay, and so we assisted the family to create a escape plan, and we also assisted the family with a home fire safety checklist. Is that right, Nora?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we are going to ask you some questions about the family. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing cannot depend on the sound of a standard auditory smoke alarm to alert them to a fire, especially while asleep. As a result, they are at greater risk of death or injury in a home fire than the general population. The American Red Cross provides people who are deaf or hard of hearing with access to free bed shaker alarms, usually Lifetone's HLAC 151 model. Please note that Lifetone's HLAC 151 bed shaker alarms are not standalone smoke alarms. To work effectively, bed shaker alarms must be installed in homes that have functioning auditory smoke alarms. In the event that a resident is deaf or hard of hearing and requests a bed shaker alarm, the documenter should complete the bed shaker alarm application following the protocol below. Prior to filling out this application, please work with the smoke alarm installer to test a standard smoke alarm for each applicant. Smoke alarms should be tested outside of the applicant's bedroom or primary sleeping location to determine whether the alarm can be heard. Please ask applicants to remove hearing aids that are not normally used at night. If the applicant is unable to hear a standard smoke alarm during this test, please proceed with the remainder of this application. The Red Cross may be able to provide up to 3 bed shaker alarms per home as supplies allow. Only 1 bed shaker alarm is needed per bed that is regularly occupied by an individual who is deaf or hard of hearing. All fields and procedures on this form are required. Failure to provide required information will prevent this request from being processed. Bed shaker alarms are typically installed during follow-up appointments. Depending on alarm availability, it may take between 1 to 3 months to schedule a return visit. This form is not a guarantee of future services. Upon return to staging area, documenter submits completed service acknowledgement form and completed bed shaker alarm application to event leader. Safeguard and submit. The documenter is required to safeguard all signed forms. Remember, these forms contain confidential resident information. Please submit all signed forms to your event leader or designee upon return to the event staging area. If you have any questions related to your duties as documenter, please contact your event leader.
Hi!
Hi.
We just got back and I just checked with Constance just like you instructed before we went out.
Perfect.
So here are my completed acknowledgement forms.
Thank you. Let's take a look. Yeah, these look great. They're filled out well. How did it go?
It went great. We visited 10 homes and we installed 26 alarms. Every home that we visit, people were interested in the escape planning element as well.
Great. That's really great. You know, we really appreciate you coming out today. We know these in-home visits are really going to save lives. Everyone else is meeting inside in a couple minutes just to talk about the event, see how we can improve for next time. I hope you can join us.
Thank you.
Great.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations on completing Module 5.